Okay, so this is the after. So I think this is like the third time I've done a cut, chop, and rebuild on this front bumper. But any case, I think it came out cool. I'm now 4 inches off the ground, opposed to 2 and a quarter or something like that. As I mentioned, I used to put my foot underneath the front bumper, and I literally would touch the bottom of the bumper with my instep of my foot. So I was pretty low. So now I am. The hard part was figuring out where I was going to put the cuts, so that way I can trim it and then lift it up evenly, and not kill the design or affect the design. So as you see, I made a incision at the top and decided to trim everything down. So the bracket that I made on the inside to attach to the car, to line everything up and then screw everything else on the side, had to been cut off and then reset. The other challenge that I had for the last few days was, how am I going to line up the front hood with the bumper? And am I going to have like that little flat spot that normally C2s have at the top right there? I try to make it go away, but the way the curvature is for the hood doesn't allow for it to be more or less seamless, like how you see on a 993 and later years. So it looks like I'm gonna have a little bit. That is not the finished product. It has to be shaped with the rest of the contour, the rest of the body. So right now it's just basically glassed in, so that way it will be straight. And then of course I've got to reset the sides too, because the front bumper literally was cut, it was raised up, and it went back. So now, as you see right here, there's a deficit where it's offset by like a 1/2 inch. So as I tell anybody, when you're fabricating, it's like when you make changes and you move an inch here, there, and everywhere, that inch will probably have to be taken from someplace else, or you're going to have to give it up or have to process it somewhere else on the car. So that's kind of what happens. But of course now I got to cut this all off and reset it so that way it's with the fender line, so it'll be nice and contour with everything else. But the end goal was to get it off the ground. So I'm 4 inches off the ground now, and again, I'm still sitting good. You can see my tire height right there. It's cool. I have brand new struts, and of course there's no gas in the car, so that weight alone of the gas is going to make it drop a little bit. And then also when the struts kind of settle in, it's going to probably drop a little bit too. So I still have some concern, but I'm still better off than what I was, because when that happens, I would have been even lower on the ground. So 4 inches is not that bad. Average car is 5 1/4. Like I said, Lamborghini Murcielago is 5 1/4. So I'm not that bad at having an inch off. I still might put my splitters down here at the bottom. They are 1/2 inch thick. So I got some clearance for that if I ever want to use it. And then of course the rubber that I plan on putting around the front bumper. So it's still going to have the appearance that it's going to be really, really low to the ground. But the main thing is that I've got tire clearance, and then also I'm not tearing up the car from going in and out of driveways and stuff like that. So I've kind of come far. Also, I have those little rubbers too that are not on the struts. Some of the Porsche guys might know, but there's little rubbers just like, yay big, probably like 3-4 inches. My hood is closed. But that is something I have not put on top of my struts. And so if they do sag, I can put those on there and then probably get another inch out of it, if I'm not mistaken. And then that means with those cushions, and it sags down a little bit, and with the weight, it'll end up sitting just like this all the time, which would be cool. The other thing that I realized that I'm gonna have to do too is I gotta redesign my oil cooler and how it sits. Now, I saved the piece that I cut out. You can see right there, I bolted it back so the air doesn't go into the trunk area. And the hole underneath the front bumper is still there, so the air can be channeled down underneath the car. And since I have a diffuser, that'll work out real cool too. But I'm gonna have to redesign all the bracketry, because now I'm significantly closer with the front bumper to the chassis of the car for that clearance. So I gotta engineer all that again for the other hood. I'm saving the other hood for the other kit. I came up with a lot of different design details, even to change the front clip. So I got enough to do an entirely different kit now. So the front bumper will be different. It'll match the new hood. I don't think I'll be changing anything on the front fenders at all. But I do have a different side skirt plan, and I think that was it. Clean out my garage dramatically. Kind of happy about that. Now I got a lot of space to work around the car. I threw away a ton of material, which I hate, but because I've needed it in the last couple of days, but it is what it is. I actually ended up finding my rosewood so that way I can redo my door panels, but I got everything working too. My driver's side door panel is installed. I've got to work on my passenger side where I left off, but it is installed. It's already been wet sanded, so I got to polish that out. And it closes perfectly. And so, because there were some clearance issues, so it works inside and out. So I'm kind of happy about that. Let's see. Steering wheel is put together. Horns work. My shift gauge has been installed. You see right there in the center of the steering wheel, it works. So I'm excited about a lot of different things that I have installed on the car. The only thing I think I have left that I literally have to wire up is the tire pressure management system. I gotta switch out the, I don't know what you call them. I gotta put the sensors in the front. The rear's already been installed. And then I gotta install the brain inside the car and then hook up my Valentine. I think those are the only things. We'll put my music back in, but those are the only things that I gotta wire up. Let's see. I think that's about it at this point. But the main objective this week was to get my front bumper glassed in, so everything is glassed in. I have to come back and complete the contour here. I've got 2 sandwich pieces of material right there, so I know how they're supposed to line up. I also have some supports back there. I also have aluminum brackets too for the headlights, so I'm excited about that. So now I can really fast forward trying to get that installed, because that was a big issue. It was really burning up a lot of brain cells on how to figure out how to get those mounted in there. The hard thing was mounting them and then figuring out what pieces you're going to use to reproduce the sockets for the headlights. I didn't know if I was going to have some headlights for somebody, or you're going to be on your own to figure out your own thing if somebody was to buy the kit. So I had to think in lines of figuring out my own headlights and then being able to reproduce them for somebody else. And that was a toughie. But in any case, hopefully the next video will be everything sanded down, contoured. The side skirts are not on the car because they're at the body shop, so that way they can be sanded down, prepped, and ready for the molds. The next thing up is going to be all the rest of the pieces, the front bumper and the fenders, and then the whole car is going to go down to do the quarter panels and some welding and stuff that I got to have done with some old rust spots that I have back there. So that is, I think next up, I'm going to work on my wing too this week. Some of the changes that I think I'm going to put in that is the contour of it. So see the little black mark right there. I think we got to have some more curvature in there. This is the curvature from the original mold that actually goes back here. So I'm going to duplicate that and continue it back down here. So it's, it's a proven curvature that I know works and it's supposed to be with that design. When you have the winglet, you wouldn't have been able to see it, obviously. But I'm going to put some more curvature. I don't want it to have such a flat surface like that. Also got my aluminum too to fabricate my brackets for it. So hopefully that will be installed on the next video. I want to figure out how to do an air brake. I still got my lines cut for it. And that's going to be pretty tricky because I don't want that thing to lift up so aggressively and then doesn't have support to be able to hold the air and then not break off or create a problem. So it's kind of on the wish list. Let's see. I think that's it. I think that's it for now. Also decided too, I'm gonna go with a satin finish. Kind of see that for my door handles. I'm gonna do that all over the car for my carbon. I like that better than gloss. Let's see. Oh, got a roll cage. So my roll cage is sitting in the back. But I do have the roll cage ready to go in. So all the bracketry and everything there. Got to have that powder coated. Not sure what color I want to have it done. Probably same color as the rims. And I think that's about it. I'm working on a Lexus right now. And working on these parts. So these are the finished parts that I have done. So there's quite a few parts that go on the front of the car and also the side mirrors. So the side mirrors have been done. So it replaces the black on the top of the mirrors. I will be replacing the part down here at the bottom, which is the one I just showed you. Created a part that goes all the way up and around here in carbon. And then the rear wing. Should have done the side skirt too. That's a lot of work in addition to it. So I'll be working on the rear wing too. But all the parts are done for it. I really like this car. Every time I come home and I see it in my driveway, I get excited. No idea how much this car is, but man, it's a pretty nice car. Any case, that is the update from my world of carbon.